Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to another episode of B is for Build. We're in my office right now. I've been doing a lot of 3D printing lately for the next little project that we're working on. In today's episode, we're focused on getting the front end mounted on the GTR. So that's a lot of stuff. That's fenders, that's getting the hood aligned, the fenders aligned with the hood, the front bumper, the headlights, all that stuff's gotta work together, and then we gotta build a mounting system to hold it all in place. Wait till you see the end result. It is pretty amazing. Stay tuned. Before we get out of here, I want to take a second out to thank our sponsor. Today's episode is sponsored by SimpliSafe. So what SimpliSafe is a security system. I use it on my home, I use it at the shop, the BS for Build shop, I use it in my garages, and I've been using it for years, and it's a wonderful, wonderful thing to have. It's easy to use, totally customizable home security that focuses equally on the most up-to-date tech and a reliable, relationship-focused service team. And instead of dealing with a very lengthy ordering and setup process, SimpliSafe allows you to custom build your package, your system, order it online, and have it delivered right to your doorstep. They have sensors to cover every window, door, lock, water, temperature, all sorts of great stuff. Oh, and not to mention all the HD cameras and doorbell cameras. And from there, your system is 24/7 professionally monitored by the SimpliSafe team, and if anything happens, they will alert the authorities immediately. They've also launched a new wireless outdoor security camera that features an ultra-wide 140-degree field of view so that you can keep watch over your entire outdoor space. Not only that, but it has an 8x zoom and built-in spotlight with color night vision so you can closely capture what's happening around the clock. And two-way audio allows you to speak directly to someone on your property. It's a pretty trick camera. I personally became interested in home security a while back when I had some of the wheels stolen off my car, which I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate to. After that, I got SimpliSafe, and with things like the outdoor camera, 24/7 monitoring, it helps with insurance claims if anything goes wrong, but not only that, you can call the police and catch the guys in the act. The setup of SimpliSafe is really why I think they put Simply in the name. It is incredibly easy to set up. I can set up a new house in about 10 minutes. The brand new outdoor camera that I got actually has a removable battery, so there's no need to run hard lines. Really nice. My SimpliSafe system is pretty simple. I mounted right here next to the door, and you can see I have things like a door sensor right here, so when I open it, it's gonna make a little sound and it blinks for us. Oh, well, the system was on. Let me turn it off real quick. There we go, now it's off. Anyways, I keep this right next to the door, so I just hit this before I go to bed, and then I know my home is secure. The nice blue glow from the base station lets me know that the system is armed and I am protected. And also from my phone, it's super easy to monitor the system, activate the system, or look at any of my cameras. Like this is my indoor camera and my outdoor camera right here that I could check out at any time from any location. And remember that SimpliSafe's interactive monitoring service will call the police if it's alerted to anything. It's really easy to rack up costs with other monitoring services, but SimpliSafe's monitoring service starts at only 50 cents a day. So guys, if you're interested in some home security or maybe garage security, shop security, maybe just watching the cars out front of your house, I highly urge you check out SimpliSafe. It's very cool, very flexible. They're a great company and I've used it for years. Check out the link in the description or what's on the screen right here, simplisafe.com/B is for Build. Click that link and you can save yourself 30% off of your SimpliSafe system. Huge thanks to them for supporting the channel. Let's get down to it. All right, back in the shop. I'm gonna be voiceover in this because, well, to be honest, the last week or so, health-wise, has not been a great one. I'll talk about that at the end of the episode. The guys are getting started here doing the two-man jobs because Kyle's about to head to Mexico, having a wonderful vacation. He's already back now. He had a great time. I'm super stoked he took that time to have a nice trip. So they're getting the doors on because it's a two-person job. This is the first step to building the front end of a car. You have to have the door so you can know where to set the fender. And I'll explain that a little bit later. But both the doors fit up, they shut well, they open, they close, they shut well. So that's a big win considering all the body work that we did. Next big job that we needed to do was make some space in the shop. And that meant we had to get this transaxle off the floor. So they pulled the rear subframe out, got that thing out of there, and then got the transaxle back in it, so now it can all go back in the car. This is a really big moment. This is cool because it means that the subframe fits back in the car with the transaxle, which means that we rebuilt our frame correctly. And you can see they actually got it in there without a lot of hassle. The last time I did one of these, it was a lot of hassle. So that's a good sign that everything fit up real nice and snug. And you can see them bolting in the rear shocks there, into the rear shock towers and everything. So we're gonna make this thing a roller once again. So once it's a roller, Oscar's now using that door that we talked about earlier, that door line, to figure out where the front fenders go. We've done a lot of these kind of custom front end builds at this point, and if you're building a front end on a car from scratch, start with your door, use your door line to tell you where the fender needs to go. You won't know your width, but you'll know vertically how it needs to sit.
So that's what Oscar's doing right here. He's fine tuning, he's trimming. Luckily he didn't have to trim too much out of the structure of the strut tower. So he's got one fender on there. He's using some rope to make some lines I can see there, and then he's cleaning this cut up, and boom, we got 2 fenders on there. Now the front bumper and the hood are gonna help you measure the width of those 2 fenders to where they need to go. And that's why you saw Oscar just test fit the front bumper on there. He did a little walk around so he could show us how it looks. And he's happy with where the fenders are now, but they're just resting on the strut towers. Starts jumping into the frame rails. Remember we had some damaged frame rails? He's cutting off all the bent area of our frame rails to cap those off. We're gonna put a big steel plate at the end of those, so he's cutting a little template out of cardboard. Big steel plate at the end of that, and that's gonna give us room to fabricate off of. So now Oscar's sizing up our GTR bumper. We don't have the OEM bumper supports for an R34 bumper. The plastics of the bumper will be real unhappy if they're not pretty well supported across, like a lot of OEM bumpers have. So he did a great job of bending up some tube to fit the contour of the bumper perfectly. And now is placing that tube in there, and that's gonna be our spot to bolt in our fenders as well as our front bumper.
All right guys, we're all caught up, back in the shop, checking out the car. Let's take a look around. So a huge thing mechanical wise is that the transaxle is now back in the vehicle. That's a really big deal because it means the subframe transaxle and the rear of the frame of the vehicle are straight enough for everything to bolt back in. So that's huge right there, and that's taken care of. Doors are obviously on, the driver and passenger side door, and then as we're moving forward, we got the fenders on, really nice door gaps here along the fenders and coming forward. So we got really lucky. The hood clears, but like just barely, which would have been a total like stopping point for this build because I don't know what you're gonna do if you can't get the hood to clear on here. But we got lucky, and you can see that that fender right where it needs to be is actually literally just sitting on the old kind of front core support bolt-in area. That's a strut tower right there. And so we didn't have to cut any of that away. We can actually just build tabs right off of that, and we're gonna build some more stuff through here. But Oscar's been working, as you guys saw in the video, on this really, really cool tube structure for the front bumper. So that runs down through there and is going to hold our intercooler. Our intercooler is going to sit on top of that, and this whole structure here is going to bolt in and out of the car into the frame rails. So he capped off the frame rails right here, and that's the next piece that he's going to be going ahead and working on, and that'll get this thing to a rolling stage. So he's going to build a straight shot coming off of here that's going to tie into here, and the same for over there, and that's going to allow us to bolt on and off the, we'll call this like the front bumper structure. Yeah, that's definitely what it is. It's like a bash bar, bumper, like everything all in one. So it's going to be really good. And it's going to be really sturdy and keep this bumper in good shape and in the right placement too. So I'm going to let Oscar go ahead and continue on working on that. And we'll get these shots coming off of here, and we'll be able to pull these stabilizers out from under here, and the bumper will be sitting on its own. All right, Oscar got the structure wrapped up. So this is a tube framing technique that we've done on other builds like the Aston Martin, Oscar's Mustang, several other builds, and it works really well. So you can see it comes off from the frame right there, and then comes to a little, what would we call that? I don't know. It's a bolt-on, bolt-off piece, a flange, and that's got 4 bolt holes in it. We can see we've only got 1 bolt in there because you know, nuts and bolts are in high demand these days. We only took 1,000 off of this car. So anyways, and then so that's gonna unbolt this entire structure. It is not strong enough to just be done like that, so we're gonna have to come off of, and eventually we'll come off of right here and then run forward to building a mount to not only hold the fender but hold the headlight, and then it'll come down and it'll tie into that, and that'll make it really nice and strong. You can see how much extra space we now have. It's pretty incredible. This, on paper, the R34 GTR is not like a lot longer than the R35, but it seems that we've put some things in some different places, and this is the amount of space that we've been left with. You could literally fit a human being in the front end of this. But we've got quite a stack of things that need to come in here. We've got the intercooler, we've still got the radiator fans. This is our oil cooler, and you can see that it'll be a functionally vented oil cooler coming through this vent right here, and then that vent right there. It'll be mounted right, oh no, a light goes in here actually. So that vent right there will feed our oil cooler, and then the big front vent will go straight into our intercooler radiator stack, and then there'll be a little bit of empty space until we get into the accessory system. The headlights are just balancing in here. We haven't really built the mounts for those yet, but when you step back and finally look at how this thing is coming together, it is so freaking cool. We're not going to go with this front lip. We are going to go with this bumper because this is an OEM R34 GTR front bumper, so they're very valuable, and it's OEM plastic, so that's good to have. It'll fit, it makes everything fit right. It's totally worth it. These fenders are OEM fenders, but we use them to be able to make sure we're going to get all the right OEM mounting spots, and then we'll put our wide body fenders back on. So it'll be wide body front fenders going into this bumper, and then we have some GTR under lip stuff. Man, the R34 is coming along so well. It's got me really, really excited. I'm also excited that it's gonna be such a unique car, because to have one of those street legal in the United States, it can't be body modified. And we get to body modify, like go wide body, do all that unique stuff, and it's still gonna be US street legal, titled and everything. So I'm excited. It's gonna be a fun car to road trip. So I didn't want to end this episode without giving you guys an update. It was a while before we got this episode out because, as you probably guessed it, of all my cancer stuff. And those of you that follow on Instagram know what happened. I didn't get good news. We were hoping for good news. We had like a 70 to 75% chance that we would get good news and we could be done with just the surgery. Unfortunately, one of my lymph nodes came back positive for having cancer cells in it. And I don't know much more than that. So in the last week, I've had to do a decent amount of testing. I did get results back from one test, which was an MRI that scanned my brain for cancer, and there's none in there. But you know, I didn't have brain cancer, and that's not why we're here. So it's like, yeah, we really weren't expecting there to be cancer in my brain, but I'm taking every little win that I can. The next one that I took was a PET scan, and the results aren't back from that, but that'll scan my whole body looking for any tumors in my body. If the cancer has spread to tumors in my body, that would be a really, really bad sign, but that's not what we're expecting to have happen. So fingers crossed that will come up clean. I won't know the results of that until after SEMA. We're going to SEMA, then I'm going to Disneyland, and then I come home and it's back into this medical stuff. It's been really hard for me mentally to get myself back into a good mindset to be working. This is a big problem. This is a serious problem, but medicine is really good these days. And that's something that gave me comfort back when I knew this was a possibility, and it's giving me comfort now. And the big thing that I've really realized after being home for a few days, for a lot of days in a row, and not being out here working and stuff like that is whether I have the next, natural life expectancy ahead of me, or whether I have a year ahead of me left, or 2 years, or 9 months, or whatever it may be, I want to live that time to the fullest. And when I'm sitting at home to my own devices, allowed to do whatever I want to do, I'll be really honest with you guys, I watched a lot of TV, I played a lot of video games, drank a lot of beer, and that was it. In a review of my last 2 weeks that I kind of took off of work, not exactly proud of I'm not upset about myself. I needed time to mentally clear my head and stuff like that, but I don't have anything to look back on and be really proud of accomplishments wise. And I don't like that, and I don't want that to be, how I run this thing out, right? First of all, I don't think this cancer is going to beat me for 1 second. I have all the faith and confidence in the world that I'm going to beat it one way or another. But second of all, I just want to think about this very logically and straight up, and that's not how I want to spend my time. And that's why I'm here and I'm back at the shop. This is how I want to spend my time, regardless of how long it is. This is what I like to do. And there are a few things that I'll be very honest with you that take priority over this, and that's spending time with family and the opportunity to travel. So what this means for the channel is I'm gonna do something that I should have done a long time ago. I'm gonna take more time out to take opportunities to travel and to spend time with my family. To be completely frank, this is a change that I should have made a long time ago. I worry that a lot of YouTubers that are in our position don't take advantage of the opportunities that we have to do these things. Just realized I don't have my wallet, which is weird. I keep losing my wallet. Anyway, so if you see things in the future episodes where it's like I'm doing voiceover of time lapse, somebody else working on the shop or something like that, just know that it probably means that I took some time out to do one of those two things, either travel or spend time with my family. And obviously you guys know I'm not a doctor, but from what I've been educated about this this type of cancer that I have and stuff is I'm not gonna be out of here anytime too soon. Even if things go very badly, I'm really hoping that at the very worst I will have years to multiple years to fight. I really think I'm gonna beat this with this next line of medicine, but just as a for instance, let me explain to you that this next line of medicine is a year-long course. So I think we'd probably find out like somewhat of the way through that year, like, hey, it's not working if it didn't work. But luckily and thankfully, this type of cancer isn't something where I have to freak out and start getting my things in order. My camera quit working, so we're on the cell phone now. As I was saying, getting to be here, building cars with my friends, like let's not forget that I get to hang out with my friends all day and build these cars that we enjoy and that you guys enjoy is the highlight of my life, and I feel so proud to get to do it. And this moment has really taught me that it's still really what I prefer to do and what I love to do. So we're just gonna keep doing it, and we're gonna keep enjoying it. And as I get updates, hopefully, you know, from here on out, we're just really gonna hope that they're all positive updates, and I'll probably post those to the Instagram. If you don't hear anything on the YouTube, it doesn't mean anything bad. It's just, remember, this is a long process that I'm gonna be going through, and so that I'm not going to be bringing it up every episode. You probably won't hear about it for another month until after SEMA, until I have some news. So, because I don't have news, I won't know anything for a while. And honestly, for my head, for my mentality and everything, that's okay with me right now. I'm getting back to life, getting back to normal. So, thank you guys all so much for watching. Thank you all so much for all of the support. We really appreciate you a lot. So we are building the Jumpicon to prep it for SEMA. We are doing a lot of upgrades, a lot of cool stuff, a lot of visual changes as well to get it closer to that rendering of that design that we envisioned for phase one before SEMA. We have a stellar booth for SEMA that I'll be releasing right when we get there, and we got a lot of work to do. We're like 11 days out from leaving. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you will join us for the next one on the Jumpicon. And thank you so much for the support. We'll see you soon. Peace.